Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to be answering the long-awaited question, what is it that I do at my full-time job? What career do you work in? What field do you work in? What do you do for a living? I feel like I always answer the question when people ask, but I feel like I need to make a dedicated video because I get asked the question all the time. I guess to me, it doesn't really, like, if I'm on Instagram ranting and raving about my full-time job or whatever, it doesn't occur to me that I need to make an announcement about what it is that I do at my full-time job every single time that I have a story. So I figured, I'm happy to answer the question anytime that it arises, but I figure it might be worth just sharing with you guys what I do and how I do it and why I started to do it and all of that good stuff. So if you're interested in learning about what your girl does from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, then please keep watching. So we'll throw it back to college. I went in at 17 as an undecided major. I kind of wanted to be a dentist, and I also kind of wanted to be a psychologist. But anyway, fast forward to my last semester of my sophomore year, I took an intro to social work class with a few of my other colleagues and peers. It was just as an elective. Fell in love. I was kind of like, this is the easiest thing ever. Like, you get paid for helping people, sign me up. And so from then on, I went on to obtain a BSW, Bachelor of Social Work, and a minor in psychology, in case you need to know that information too. And then immediately I went into a graduate program and obtained an MSW, a Master of Social Work. So I am currently a Master of Social Work, technically a licensed Master of Social Work, and shortly I will be a licensed independent social worker, which basically means that I can do all of the things. So I love kids. I babysat kids. I tutored kids. I've worked with kids literally my whole life. So it was only kind of natural that that would be like my area of expertise. So I've worked with kids of all ages, except like little bitty babies, but down to like 2. And so currently I work with kids and families, but I also have a split role. So I do some work with kids and families, and I also do quality assurance. I would say the quality assurance kind of like trumps the work that I do with families in terms of time and how my time is delegated, but obviously the work that I do directly with people is far more satisfying and, trumps the quality assurance stuff, of course. I really love what I do. I always have. I have no intentions of stopping anytime soon. Of course, I always say the only time that I would probably not work a full-time job is if I have a child and I want to stay home with the child or be with the child. Some people want to go back to work. Some people want to stay home with their kid. I just want to have the option to do whatever it is that I want to do. So speaking of kids, that's probably going to take place, we only want one, in like the next year or 2. So we'll have to make a decision about if, that actual decision will be coming up sooner rather than later. Let's see what else. I am pretty well versed in all things related to children. It's just my favorite. I feel like I've had a lot of trainings on, ways to communicate with them and interventions to use, behavioral interventions, behavior modification, all of that good stuff. Literally love it. But I also do like working with adults too. Now, regarding what I want to do with my life moving forward as a social worker, I don't know, because I don't know what I want to be when I grow up still. So I don't really know what the future will bring. I just know that I'm loving doing what I'm doing now, and I have no intentions of stopping. It's just very fulfilling and rewarding, especially with the populations that I've always worked with. Not to say that I haven't worked with many different populations, but I feel like the primary population that I work with is very rewarding when you can kind of see change from a micro level. Of course, I do enjoy seeing change from a macro level as well, but it's just rewarding to see change in that I, as well as other people like me, many other people in the community, not just social workers, are affecting change at both micro levels, at all levels actually. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, the one thing that I do want to mention is that when people hear the word social worker, they sometimes think that people are removing children from homes and all of that. So I'm here to debunk that. That is absolutely not the case always. I have never worked in that type of role. The reason why I chose social work, I always say that I think social work chose me, but the reason why I continue to stay in the field is because, like I said, I think it's very rewarding. And there's a lot of different things that you can do with a social work degree. I know a lot of people think that all you do, or that social workers remove children from homes and all of that, and that's not the case. There are many of us who aren't doing that type of work and who are doing other things to help the communities and serve the communities. And not all of us are like, you know, burn out or dying to get out of the field. Speaking for myself, I've always worked for companies where there's a high morale, especially now. I feel like we all thoroughly enjoy what we do. We all get along great. We all go on lunch dates and hang out after work and, you know, on the weekends and have parties together. I mean, like, we're always hanging out and, you know, mingling amongst one another, and it's literally the best. So yeah, that's just pretty much it. I feel like I've always felt there's not really a huge need to really talk about what I do, because I can't talk about like exactly what I do because of HIPAA. I can't talk about who I work with. I can't talk about the day that I had at work. You know, like as far as, you know, what I did and, you know, different little small things. I also love it, so there's often times no complaints around it or whatever. I don't know, I just feel like because we're governed by HIPAA and confidentiality, and I can't even talk to my husband about, you know, the 99% of the details at work just on a basic level, then there's really no need for me to talk about it with the internet. It's not that I don't want to, I just feel like, you know, there's really not much to say outside of I'm a social worker. I feel like I always just never talk about it, and probably won't moving forward, because there's just not much to talk about due to confidentiality and HIPAA. Like, I can't really say much of anything outside of, you know, what my title is and the work, the titles that I've held in the past, and, you know, what made me go into the field. I feel like that's about as much as I can talk about as a person who has a social work degree. I do want to say that although I've always had a social work degree, my titles have always been so different, which is why I think that having a social work degree is what has been so helpful for me, because I've been able to work in a bunch of different roles, just giving my I feel like the jobs that I've applied for, they've wanted you to have a background in like human services, and that can be a bunch of different stuff. That could be counseling, social work, criminal justice, XYZ. So I feel like it's always been beneficial to have that social work degree, because it has opened doors for me to do many different jobs. Like, I've probably had like 8 different titles, none of them being like social worker. They've always been like, you know, different titles. Like right now I'm doing quality assurance as a social worker. So, you know, it's just many different things that you can do. So anyway, I just wanted to share the story really quickly. One of the reasons is because I just shared some information about the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program and my plans for taking advantage of that. And then also I have something else that I'll be announcing in coming videos, and I feel like having this information in a central location is going to be beneficial. That's primarily why I'm doing this, so that people can refer back to this video if they need to or want to. So anyway, that's my story. That is the field that I am in. That is the degree that I have. That's what I studied in college, all of that good stuff. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.